Hi, I'm Danny, and today I want to discuss with you on how to purchase your Ford Mustang Mach-E. Now, your local dealership may add an additional markup to that car, and I'm going to show you the steps to take to go ahead and make sure you get at MSRP. All right, so what I really want to talk about is my buying experience, not too much in detail. I don't want to make this super long, and what you can do to make your buying experience better. So here's my buying experience. I went to a dealership, I test drove it on a Sunday. A select edition, I really liked it. They just didn't have the model I wanted, so I didn't further the talks with them. But I looked at the window sticker and they did have some markups. The following day, I checked out another dealership here locally to the Central Valley, and I wanted to maybe test drive another one. They couldn't find the key for whatever reason. Whatever, no big deal. But I also looked at the window sticker and they had the select base model marked up by $20,000, which is absolutely ridiculous, especially if you're a consumer looking at an EV. Seeing that tag and knowing I could pull up Tesla.com and buy a much better trim and capable Tesla for $63,000 than the select base Mustang Mach-E Select, right? Crazy. So I didn't even bother trying to do business with them. Now, I did end up at another dealership because they did have one California Route 1 in stock. And I said, hey, I'm interested. What's your best price? Over the phone. I really tried to knock it out over the phone because I don't want to sit there and play the games that they play. And they said, if you're serious, come down. We might be able to make a deal with you. Fine. So I went to the dealership. The guy wasn't available. I talked to the manager. They still played the game. They tried to do the four squares. They tried to do everything. What ended up coming out was they were marking up the car by $3,000, right? They said, hey, we'll mark it down $1,000. By the way, we're going to add the low jack, which is $1,000. So it's still $3,000, but now you have low jack in it. And I said, that has to be one of the most ridiculous things to add to a Mustang, because I could go on the app, Mustang Mach-E, I could go on the app and locate my car. This car runs off a battery. So why would you even tap into the electrical to put a low jack in when I could find my car through an app? It doesn't make any sense, right? Either way, so they didn't budge on the pricing. Mind you, I had a car I was trading in and I did my homework. I got trade-in values from other dealerships and I already had my loan situated at a great interest rate. So I told them, what will you buy back my car for? They didn't give me a good price. I was fine with it. I didn't have any need to trade it in at the same place I'm buying the car. The second thing is, can you do better on the interest rate? And they couldn't. Fine. So the only thing they had to make money off of me was that car. Now, had they marked it down at least $1,500, I probably would have took it. And I say this because this dealership was not part of the California's Clean Fuel Reward Program, which is a huge program. $1,500 off the price of the car, not by the dealership, but because they get rebated from California. So keep that in mind. I want to come back to that later. I walked out. The next morning, I had 3 dealerships that I had good communication with. Morgan Hill, North Bay, and Price Ford of Turlock. And one dealership said, hey, we don't have anything coming in. If you want one, place an order, we'll have it in whatever it says, 26 weeks out. I had another dealership that called me Saturday morning and said, hey, we have one coming in about 4 weeks or less. Do you want to put a deposit in on it? And actually I said, yeah, let's do it. So I put my deposit down on it. Right when I hung up, Price Ford of Turlock called me and said, hey, we have someone that just didn't want to pick up theirs. Do you want it? And I said, yes. So I felt bad. I called back North Bay and I said, I'm sorry, but I found one in stock. Just want to let you guys know. No hard feelings there as far as what they offered, because they were great, very communicative with me. And I ended up being in Turlock another couple hours later, and an hour later back, the drive, and I had the car. Now, I also did receive a phone call and email follow-up from the dealership I was just at the night before saying, hey, sorry we couldn't make a deal. It was very, I almost facetious to me in the email. Well, when I got home, they called me and they said, hey, are you sure you don't want to come back and pick up this car? Yada, yada, yada. I already bought it. And thank you for selling me no, because Price for the Turlock had a $1,500 clean fuel reward rebate. So not only did I get the car at MSRP, I got it for $1,500 less. So just by them not negotiating that one day earlier, I saved $4,500 on this car. And that brings me to what you need to do to purchase a Mustang Mach-E. 1, figure out the trim level you want. Okay, that's the easy part. Figure out exactly what you want. 2, figure out what your rebates are for your state. Every state has different rebates. The federal one of $7,500 applies to everywhere, right? But figure out if you have additional rebates for your state and for your local zip code, because there's an additional $7,500 of rebates where I live on top of the federal rebates. And 4, call dealerships to ask if they sell at MSRP or not. If they don't even bother. If the dealership is 2 hours away, 2 hours of driving to pick it up for a 30-minute transaction to drive back another 2 hours is probably less time than you're going to spend doing the back and forth at the dealership that marks up their price of the car in order to work the price back down, right? Have the patience, make the phone calls, and do business with those places that are going to value your business and would rather sell volume of cars than to have you for 10 hours there to go back and forth and do the pony show. It just doesn't make sense to do that anymore, especially when you have Ford breaking into this market. Their dealerships aren't doing them any favors by marking up these cars when you could go to the biggest competitor. 80% of the EV market is Tesla, and you could find a better Tesla. Now, what's better, you know, that's up for debate on what you consider better and what is better. I went with this car because rebates, and I like the fact that there are set service centers that I could go to that probably have these parts that if they were to break, readily available, because a lot of these parts in this car were available in other cars. Now there's some things new, screens and whatnot, that will come in time. But again, there's at least dealerships I could go to. I don't have to send it off to be shipped somewhere to get fixed, to get it shipped back to me, right? Other than that, there's other reasons why I went with it. But overall, the main point of this video is do your research on everything, dealerships, rebates. Find a dealership in advance by calling them and move forward, right? Either way, that's been my buying experience and hopefully helps you make a purchase on your car as well. Again, my name is Danny, and maybe I'll see you in the next video.